Andy Johnson, Minnesota State University. We are going to talk about writing workshop. Who am I kidding? You're not going to talk. I'm going to talk. You're going to listen. Just give you a sense of the basics. Know that writing workshop contains some or all of the following elements that I'll be looking at in various degrees. If you understand the basic concept, you should be able to adopt and adapt to meet your situation. All right? Definition. Always start with that. A structure created whereby all children are writing using their own writing topics. And once you learn how to master this idea, it is actually a lot more effective and a lot easier in terms of teaching writing. It's more effective and it's a lot easier to do it. It may seem complicated, just touch this idea, but it is actually, and again I'm saying this 2 or 3 times, it's much more effective, students are much more motivated to write, and it's a lot more enjoyable to teach this way. It contains a mini lesson. A mini lesson is just that, a small, wee little lesson. Wee. Anywhere from 2 minutes to 10 minutes long. You could teach the whole class. Boys and girls, I just want to touch on what a paragraph is today. A paragraph. And you do a short little skills lesson plan. If you notice a few students having trouble with someone, you might say, boys and girls, let's have the following students come up to the small table during our writing workshop today. Explicit instruction, but it's short. Remember, the goal is to write. Some people like to include a state of the class at the beginning. This is where students tell what they'll be working on. Now, it could be a poster that each student signs up individually, or you could ask students walk around as they're writing, or simply if you have a small enough class, Billy, what are you going to be working on today? And if you really want to get complicated, you have the date, and you might even include stages. You could do this as a whole class or individually. This gives you a good sense of your students as writers. You can follow their progress. This is real data, authentic data. I like to include what's called a writing bubble, sustained silent writing. This is where everybody, including the teacher, is writing. Silent, no one talking. During other parts, we encourage talking, other parts of the writing workshop. And remember, teachers of writers must be writers themselves. Sacred writing time. Why is it sacred? Children need to be able to count on writing every day. If they know they're going to write every day, they begin thinking about what they're going to write after school, before school, coming to school, all right? So if they can count on that writing space, they're better able to continue their ideas. Don't bump writing time for a Lyceum or some other important project. This is the most important project. Students are writing and sharing their ideas. This is how literacy emerges. This is how people learn to write. A writing conference, we'll go over more in just a minute, is where students talk about their writing. The first sort of one is the one where the student comes to you and has a conference with you. And then the sharing part, and we've talked about this in a previous video, but this is what makes writing come alive. They share their writing after each writing session with another student. They can do it in small group, individually, in author's chair, or published stories. Important things to remember in writing workshop. First of all, things are in various stages. Some people may be drafting, some people may be revising, some people may be pre-writing. Students get to choose the writing topic. You know, this doesn't preclude that once in a while a teacher might say, well, I want you to describe, But by and large, students should be able to decide what to write about. If you do have a teacher topic, make sure it is structured but open-ended so students can personalize it. And then students have choice. Choice is a powerful motivator, whether it be choice of books, writing topics, other choices. And again, think of how dreary it is if someone would assign you all your writing topics. As I said, they need to be able to count on writing every day, and pre-write, drafting, that 10-minute bubble of silence, they put their sloppy copies into a file folder. And this should be kept in a milk box on the shelf someplace where students have access to it, not in their desks. When it's time to write, they can go through and get the piece that they want to work on, and they can keep their pieces in progress in there. You should also have a file folder that students are able to keep their finished product, a showpiece folder, some people call it. And this is where I like to have my right-hand desk drawer, where I have a file folder with every student's name on. They put their edited products there, or I put them there. At conference time, you're able to show parents some actual writing. Here's some pre-writing. Here's the progress they're making. See the progress they're making as writing? That is much more informative than 98%, 62%. And finally, students need responses, and you will have to teach your students how to respond to each other's writing. All right, we'll be going over writing conferences in just a minute.